What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, No Days Off DFS, here to bring you guys that NBA slate breakdown for the 8-game NBA slate we got tonight over on DraftKings. Not a bad slate last night, decent set of games. My Thunder, of course, we got another W. It's always a good day whenever my Thunder can go ahead and etch out a win, especially with the slow start that they had in that game. If you guys new here, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content over here on the channel, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos help you guys win some money. Now, last night I put out a pretty good core, and I was really going back and forth on a couple of things. For the core, I was tossed up between LaMelo Ball and Trae Young as paying up for the guard for the day. Was going back and forth with them. Ended up, of course, settling on LaMelo, as you can see for the core. Amin Thompson, I knew I wanted him. No Dylan Brooks, the upside that he had going up against the Pelican team. The boxing still upside that he already has. I know that should have been a good day for him. Since I didn't go with Trae, I wanted to go ahead and get Jalen Johnson. And a fun fact that I had found out was that on well-rested games where he at least gets about 2 to 3 days of rest, he is averaging at least 50 fantasy points. And plus the matchup going up against Chicago Bulls was kind of a no-brainer right there for me. And then I talked very highly about Zach Edey on stream previously. So of course you guys already knew I was looking between Zach Edey, Mark Williams, those 5K range centers that it just really stuck out, popped out. And of course Zach Edey went out there, he even played inside the blowout going up against Toronto and had a very, very good game at low ownership, which really put me over the top for the score. So all in all, was not a bad core. If you guys definitely watched the breakdown, stuff like that, you kind of would have got a gauge on where I was going with stuff. Today, Friday, I'll make sure I go ahead and actually post my core in the pinned comment underneath this video for you guys, if you guys are looking for that, because I've spent a better part of the morning going over quite a bit in regards to the slate. We got another slate with injury news and stuff that we have to pay attention to once again. A couple teams on the back end of a back-to-back, like Orlando, Indiana Pacers, the Brooklyn Nets, Memphis and New Orleans, Houston. Cleveland didn't play yesterday. Nope. And that's pretty much it in regards to like the back-to-back teams. So still some injury reports are not out for a couple of teams. Definitely want to get an update in regards to what's going on with some of these players. But with that being said, let's go over the injury report. New York, nothing to worry about with them. Orlando, back in the back-to-back, like I said, only thing still for them is that Gary Harris game time decision. Really don't think that's going to affect anything too much in regards to starting lineup or their players off the bench. If Gary's coming back, he is an injury-prone player. I would imagine he would be limited and eased back into the rotation. That's kind of how Orlando does their stuff. Indiana Pacers back in the back-to-back, like I said. Toppin, he did go down in the game, so that will probably open up more minutes for Walker for them. I had to make sure I was saying the name right. Yeah, Jarris Walker, that should open up more minutes for him because he did get a ton of run when Obi went down and was actually kind of giving it to my Thunder. On the Boston Celtics side, Drew Holiday still a game time decision. Did miss the last game that they played. KP also a game time decision. Rolled his ankle last time out. I'm not even looking at neither one of those guys. KP has burnt me plenty enough for the season. I'm not even going to worry about him. San Antonio Spurs, clean bill of health for them. Brooklyn Nets, back in of a back-to-back, would not, well, yep, news is already out. Ben Simmons is going to be out tonight. Cam Thomas is out as well. Bogdanovich, Dorian Finney-Smith is game time decision. Those are going to be the things that we want to pay attention to right there. For the Memphis Grizzlies on their side, Salty Aldama, he is a game time decision. Jay Huff, game time decision. Marcus Smart, game time decision. I'm interested really for the Memphis Grizzlies simply because normally on the back-to-backs, we'll see Ja normally have a day off. Desmond Bane, they'll rest him in one of the 2 games that they normally play. Looking back over the whole season so far for them, that has typically been what they've done. So definitely will want to pay attention to Memphis if they do give us some late news, surprisingly, like, hey, resting player for rest or whatever. They've been taking it very easy with a couple of their guys over here on the Grizzlies, so wouldn't be surprised if we get late word that Ja's going to be out or Bane's going to be out. If they are, that is going to boost, of course, other players like Wells, whoever gets slid into the starting lineup, which should be Scottie Pippen Jr. You guys already know, like Scottie, whenever he does start, and the matchup is pretty decent for him going up against the Pelicans, who play little to no defense, and they're still trying to figure out some things over here, trying to get the trade value up for a lot of the players. Minnesota Timber Pups, Nickeil Alexander-Walker landed himself on the injury report, but bench player, 15-ish minutes, I can go to somebody else. Houston, Dylan Brooks, expected possibly to actually be back and play today. Definitely going to be interested to see if he does. Cleveland Cavaliers taking on Denver. This should be a good game. Dean Wade, game time decision. If he's going to be out, definitely would be interested to see who slides into that starting spot for him. But either way, for me, not too interested in too many pieces from the Cleveland side, I will say. But if Wade is out, correction, I will say if Dean Wade is out, that will bump Sam Merrill, who did get the start last game. So I guess there is that right there. For the Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray, expected for him to be back. The biggest thing for them is that Aaron Gordon is going to be out. Peyton Watson is expected to possibly be into the starting lineup. so in regards to that, because I do think they could still start Russell Westbrook if they wanted to. Russ can sliding at that point guard spot, move Jamal down to the 3. MPJ can go play the 4, which he played quite a bit before they got Aaron Gordon anyway. So that's definitely some shakeup they do right there. And then the last game that's going to be on the slate is going to be Dallas. The big thing for them is the fact that Luka, he's going to be out for quite some time. I think I want to say a month, which kind of sucks because now he's going to take himself out of all NBA consideration, which of course, anytime one of your top players in the league is going to miss a significant amount of time, it really does suck for that. So that right there. And then of course, Devin Booker, he's going to be out for the Phoenix Suns. So heading on over to DraftKings site, play the most on site. If you guys don't have an account, you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus. Going to be doing something pretty interesting over here on DraftKings for the betting side of stuff. I will be doing a $25 to however much we can get in the next 5 days. So I guess you call it a ladder challenge or whatnot. I put out a video yesterday in regards to how I go ahead and find my outline parlays that I've been using to build bankroll and stuff like that over on DraftKings and FanDuel. Decided that I'm going to do a challenge, a ladder challenge, if you call it, for that. Literally just going to double up every single time in regards to whatever we cash out. So 25 bucks into hopefully at least 40, close to 50 bucks, and then rolling it over from there for the next 5 days. Pretty much that's exactly how many days until we go into the new year, hopefully starting out the new year with a decent chunk of change going into it. All right, so of course I'm doing this video not quite, a little bit later into the day than what I normally do. And of course, as I'm sitting here and I'm recording, I see some injury news and stuff pops up. Jay Huff, he's questionable. Santi Aldama is actually going to be ruled out. Marcus Smart is ruled out as well. Dylan Brooks is going to be out again for this game. Tari Eason, he is questionable. So definitely going to be some minutes and stuff to go around for plays off the bench, especially in this Memphis Grizzlies game with Santi Aldama, him being ruled out. I guess that means with that report coming out, we don't have to worry about Ja being rested. We don't have to worry about Bane being rested at all with that. And then of course with Houston, that just means Amin Thomas, he's still going to be inside the starting lineup. And I don't mind him. They are going to need him anyway in regards to dealing with Anthony Edwards out there. So that's a boost-ish in regards to his minute security that he's going to have, especially if Tari Eason is going to miss another game right there. And he's been playing some great ball over the last couple games, and his price tag really hasn't been too crazy over these last couple games. So going ahead, looking at it, starting with the first game, New York taking on Orlando. I don't have too much interest in this game at all. It is all these games, really, there's several games. They're all just going to be slow, grinded out type games. Spreads are all over the place. That's why I said that injury news is kind of going to be key. From the New York side, I will say I don't necessarily like Towns here in this spot. I do believe, of course, 9,600 come down from his 10K range, and of course he's had some big games. Foul trouble has definitely been a big thing for Cat over the last several games. Bounce back spot for him, definitely. Goga can actually guard out there on the perimeter. Last time that these two did play going up against each other, he played 43 minutes, dropped 58 fantasy points. So upside is there for Cat, definitely at 9.6. I will say I'm more interested in, of course, we have the Joker and we have Wemby as spend up options at the center spot. And then down low, we have Zach Edey and Evan Mobley, because you can slide him into the center spot as well as possible mid-tier options that we can look to instead. So Cat kind of is going to be a lower owned center spot today, but I really don't feel like you need to get to him. For me, mainly over here on the Knicks, I'll be looking more towards Jalen Brunson. Great matchup for him. I don't mind him at all. Mikal Bridges looks like he's found a shot, 6,200. Great price tag on him. I'm not going to say he's going to come back out here and repeat the 59.25 fantasy point outing. Hopefully he doesn't go out there and give us that 23.75 fantasy point outing, but maybe something in between, like a 35, 38-ish fantasy point at 6,200. That's pretty decent and great. And honestly, Amin Thomas is only 200 more. I would rather just go ahead and pay up and get to that if I was to go somewhere in that middling range right there for the price tag that he actually costs. OG, a little bit of interest, not too much. And then last for me is going to be Precious Achiuwa, especially if we do think that Cat can get himself into foul trouble. 18 minutes, he dropped 12.25 fantasy points versus him last time. 3,500, very cheap option play. And he very much is in the rotation and is playing out there for him. And I guess I also sprinkle in Josh Hart. So really, Josh Hart, Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and Precious Achiuwa would be the main guys I would be looking to from them. Or on the Orlando side, nobody truly sticks out to me as like you have to play. You can mess with the value plays in the Silver and Queen if you want to. We know they're going to play the minutes. They're going to be out there. But the Knicks, they're a pretty decent defense out there, unless your name is Wemby and you can go off for 40 plus points out there. But not too much I'm going to focus too heavy on to get from over there. On the Indiana Pacers, they're on the back end of the back-to-back, like I said. I really don't like anybody from the Pacers at all either. Halliburton, if he can knock down his 3, which the Thunder, they had him in hell last night. 2 of 6 on the field, 18 fantasy points, played 35 minutes. Definitely, I can see him being a bounce back spot. I would say Siakam out there with the way that he can play in transition, the rebounding upside that he has, especially if KP was to miss as well. I don't mind looking at Siakam as a possible option that we can go to. Gonna need him if they actually want to keep this game close. And then Mathurin, I love him, of course. Shooters, we normally attack Boston with opposing shooters. Mathurin, we do know that he will chuck, he can chuck, and he definitely can knock down quite a bit of shots. Does tend to get up for these type of games. Whenever it comes down to it, looking at it, I don't see anything. 43 minutes versus Boston last time, 50.25 fantasy points. So yeah, like I said, Mathurin, definitely don't mind going down there to him. And then if you want to sprinkle and mess with someone that might be low owned, like I said, Jarris Walker, I really do feel like he is going to see the minutes and going to be out there simply because Obi is going to be down and out. So those minutes possibly could be there. And if this game was to blow out, Jarris Walker could be that low, sneaky diamond in the rough that no one is going to look to or think about or care to even play. So definitely something to keep an eye on because, I mean, when you look at it, Obi Toppin was playing almost 18, 20-ish minutes out there a game. So the upside definitely can be there for Jarris playing that backer role. No Neesmith as well, so definitely someone else is gonna have to step up off that bench unit right there for him. On the Boston side, nobody like I said, I don't care about Kristaps Porzingis. 7,200 has effed up plenty enough games for me so far this season. Drew Holiday, low usage player anyway. If you're going to be focused on anything, it would have been Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Pritchard off the bench. If Holiday misses, Pritchard, he definitely gets a boost. Sam Hauser, I can go to him for 4,200. But the main play over from Boston, Jason Tatum, going up against the Indiana Pacers. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something in the water or he just loves the matchup and whatnot. But going against the Pacers, the dude has failed to drop less than 30 plus points going up against him so far. As far as I can see in regards to the head-to-head matchup going up against them. 62 fantasy points in the last game, 43 minutes versus them. Definitely, if I was to pay up for somebody, not named Wemby, not named Joker, it would definitely be Tatum on today's slate. San Antonio Spurs taking on the Brooklyn Nets. It's going to be a slow game. No Ben Simmons, who would normally be able to push the pace out there for them. I am very much in a cross in between because I like the spot for the Joker going up against Jared Allen. He's destroyed the Cavs typically whenever he has played them. I can definitely see a world, especially no Aaron Gordon out there. The rebound should be there for him. All those things like that. Love this spot that Joker can be in, but the form that Wemby is in, being able to stretch the floor, knock down the three, the block upside that this dude just continuously has. And the last time that he played the Brooklyn Nets, which should have been last season, he put up 70 plus fantasy points going up against them. I don't see how I stray away from that, especially considering the discount that I can get coming down to Wemby. I do feel like Wemby is going to be maybe highly owned compared to the Joker, but currently right now, ownership projection shows that Joker is going to be higher owned than Wemby. I don't know how to feel about that, but I really do feel like if you play, you got to plant your flag on one of these two big men. I do believe that you're going to anchor your lines with starting with the Wemby or the Joker, and if you're making multiple lines, then definitely I would say you're playing one or the other and then fading them both into a line if you're making multiple. Now we got the $8 100K up top to first. I definitely can see that if I'm throwing multiple bullets into this contest, but if I was to fade Wemby, I will say Sochan or Sohan, however you say his name. Dude's been balling out over his last several games. 34, 29, 29, 42, 46 fantasy points. Definitely a spot where I can see him doing this all over again today. The rebounding upside, the playmaking upside that he has, the defense that he plays with, and his scoring has looked pretty good over his last several games. That connection he has with Chris Paul, Wemby when he's out there on the court, all that is looking very phenomenal for him. And then if you want to come down for another 1,000, I definitely do like the upside for Vassell. We know this dude's almost like a Swiss Army knife in regards to being able to get off a shot. Definitely a 3-level scorer whenever it comes down to it. But if he's able to stroke and get this 3 going, definitely can be a very big game for him out there. Chris Paul, you can definitely look there. And then surprisingly, Trey Jones off the bench. He's been playing spotty, 23, 11, 22, 3, 18. Still like the upside for what he can actually bring to the table if I was to look there for another cheap value play. Again, Jarris Walker. I'm really telling you, Jarris Walker is something in the water, but I'm very high on Jarris Walker today. Going over to the Brooklyn side, really, Cam, that's just going to be it for me from Brooklyn. No real interest in Class, and I can see himself getting himself into foul trouble. Granted, great defense in the game last night and everything that he did to help close it out. But Cam Johnson, if his shot is actually falling just like what it was last night, going up against Milwaukee Bucks, He's definitely going to be needed to keep themselves in this game. 7,400, not bad. But again, your price right there, similar to Evan Mobley, who I love in that matchup, going up against Mike Porter Jr. and Peyton Watson. That should be easy there right there for Evan Mobley. Not too interested in anything else over here on that. But correction, I will say Shake Milton with no Ben Simmons going to get the start. We have seen what he can do. He definitely is a game manager type player. I'm not going to say he's going to go out there and get us another 20 points, but the upside is definitely there if you are looking for a low, cheap value guard, not named Kevin Porter Jr., Chris Dunn, or of course, when we get to the Golden State Warriors game, the value that we have in that game. Minnesota taking on Houston. Nobody truly pops out as, hey, I have to play them. Dante, 4K, definitely, he's going to get the burn, especially if there's no kill Alexander Walker. Minutes could be a little bit more secure for him right there. Nas Reed, if Rudy gets himself in foul trouble or something like that, they can use him to stretch the floor. He's actually played Houston pretty well over his career. And you already know what you're getting with Ant, 85. That's not bad, but I'd rather just go ahead and find a little bit that I need to get up to and go ahead and play a player like Tatum, if I'm trying to choose between there. And then at 8,500, want to have Kyrie also on the slate without Luka. Yeah, it's a GPP option at best on today. Over here for Houston, Şengün going up against Rudy. He can definitely have his way if he decides to dig in that bag. But for me, mainly over here from Houston, it's just going to be Amen Thompson. That'll be it. 6,400, great spot for him. Definitely, again, once again, that defense. The defense, that's really what keeps him on the floor. 5 blocks in that last game, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 9 points, 36.5 fantasy points in 31 minutes. Dude is a Energizer Bunny, will stay out there, play some hard-nosed defense. He keeps himself out of foul trouble, which you can see. He's done that in his last 2 games. He can give us some really great numbers going up against opposing teams. Do not mind going to him at all right here. Freddie V will be another GPP option. And then, of course, Jabari Smith Jr. will be the only other GPP. Now, deep GPP, another low-owned nugget that we can go to because he's back. He's not injured. He's getting his minutes. He's getting his burn again. Now, I understand that game going up against Pelicans got out of hand. That's why he really got that run. But if the confidence follows him, the shot is there with him. Cam Whitmore, do not sleep on him. I was very high on him last year when I was covering DFS and stuff like that. You can definitely go right back to him. Back-to-back 30-plus fantasy point games for him. So that's definitely an option that you can go to right here in the Cam Whitmore, but just understand that it's very much a boom or bust play, especially if Tari was to miss. I do believe that the upside for Cam Whitmore will definitely be more just because those minutes will be a little bit more secure with him coming off the bench. And he does seem like he's getting those minutes that we wouldn't normally see Tari Eason get. So definitely ride the wave while you can. Again, the dude, he's a very good shooter, plays hard-nosed defense just like Amen Thomas and things like that. So I do like the upside for a low-owned Cam Whitmore if you're looking to take down a GPP contest or something like that. Memphis, now that we got the news and word about the players that are going to be out, things like that, I do think that's going to be a boost for like Jake LaRivia off the bench. Brandon Clark, Luke Kennard, I definitely think, especially with Adam being out, Kennard could be one that definitely can get a bump, especially if he's able to knock down a shot like what he did last night, 3 of 8 from 3, 8 assists out there, 15 points. That's definitely something. But for me, going up against the Pelicans, the best mismatch out there on the court is going to be Edey. Once again, 5K. 50 fantasy points in 27 minutes. If you're going to tell me Edey's going to go out there and be able to play at least 25, close to 30 minutes a game, I'm going to take the rebound upside. I'm going to take the putback upside. I'm going to take his defensive upside going up against a weak center and Messi, who is kind of undersized for the center spot. We've attacked the Pelicans all season. Well, I don't know about you. I've attacked the Pelicans all season with opposing centers. I do believe, once again, Zach Edey, great spot, great matchup. Everything points to going to Edey again here today. You definitely can mess with Ja if you want to pay up right there. But again, you got Kyrie, no Luka. You're going to need him in the game. This is just, don't even think about it. Play Kyrie for anybody that's in that 8K range at the guard spot. There's no need to go there. Jaren Jackson Jr. sitting at 7-1. I got Evan Mobley. Instead, I could play right there. So that's kind of the pivots that you got to look at when you're looking at it right there. Over on the Pelican side, if they can keep this game close, DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, and Trey Murphy will be the main guys I look to over here. Messi, not going there, 6,400. I just feel like his price is kind of crept up just a little bit too much for me here. And then I really do feel like this is going to be a tougher matchup for him going up against Edey and the size and everything that he brings. And then Herb Jones, if he's good to go and going to get these kind of minutes that he's getting, but actually attempt the shots and shoot, he definitely makes for a GPP option at that 5'9", but I don't see myself forcing it to get there. I will say Trey Murphy, the more reliable shooter, definitely seeing at least over 14 shot attempts a game. Big reason why they've been able to stay at least somewhat competitive in some of the games that they played. I would rather go to Trey Murphy, who I do know is going to definitely get a shot off from 3. Cleveland taking on the Denver Nuggets. This game right here, again, on the Cleveland side of things, if I'm going with anything, like what I've always done for attacking Cleveland, is going to be between Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley. Those are the main two consistent and safer plays I always feel like coming from the Cleveland side. Garland, Allen, Karis LeVert, all these guys are more GPP option. Now, if we are going to get word that Dean Wade is going to be out, maybe if they start Karis LeVert, I don't mind looking there because I know he has stat sheet stuffing potential. Now, I will say if they do start Sam Merrill, who is a phenomenal shooter, 6 of 11 from 3, and he's going to play upwards of close to 25 minutes. Love going to him in this spot. 3,900. Again, some decent value options that you have to consider whenever you're making your decisions tonight. Sam Merrill, if there's no Dean Wade and Merrill is going to start, I like it. I love it. Would not mind going to him right there. But I will say again, Evan Mobley for me, 7,600. That's just too cheap for a player who is in his bag. Don't have to deal with Aaron Gordon. Michael Porter Jr. defense, I'm not scared of it. Peyton Watson defense, I'm not scared of it either. Over on the Denver side, like I said, you have to choose between Wemby and Joker. I just feel like you have to have one of those two in your lines. I am leaning towards Wemby. I don't know if it's the recency bias because I've watched quite a bit of him over these last couple of games, been just looking to see his offensive bag is growing. The Joker, I know we're getting with the Joker. The upside, of course, is there. Last time he played the Cavs, he put 70 plus fantasy points going up against them as well. So it's like, damn, which crazy, phenomenal big do we go with on today? I will say the $800 savings that I can get for Wemby, definitely speaking volumes to me. Now, if you think that the Joker, if you can get some projection numbers that show you what ownership is going to look like today, you see that Joker is going to be lower owned, and you want to get that edge. Now, understand both of them have, I think, a safe floor of 50-ish fantasy points. Who's going to give me close to 60, 70 fantasy points? That's the question that you got to ask, especially paying that price tag for him. And honestly, I don't have the answer to that one. I love the match for Wemby. I like the match from Joker. From an ownership standpoint, I'll eat chalk for Wemby if Wemby's going to be higher owned. But definitely do think the Joker makes for a pretty good pivot. Now, outside of the Joker, Jamal Murray, as long as he's good to go, that questionable tag falls off. He's probable. I do expect for him to be back into play. He did just play on Christmas. Don't mind looking at him if he's going to be lower owned, 7,400. That's not bad. Don't mind going there. But again, rather just find that 1,000 more I need to get up to Kyrie. No, Luka. I'm going to keep on saying it. Michael Porter Jr., don't sleep on him. Do feel like we can go there to him as well. And I will say Peyton Watson being in the starting lineup, that's not bad at all. I look towards Peyton right here. Schroeder, both these guys are going to have to get some burn with Aaron Gordon being out, and then of course Russell Westbrook, 6,300. I just kind of think that's a bit too much to play for the old GOAT himself. Wouldn't hate it, but he takes up one of your guard spots or your point guard position, and you need that for the likes of Kyrie, Jamal Murray if you wanted to go with him today, Jalen Brunson if you want to go right there, Men Thompson. Like there's other players that I feel like have more value than what I can get for playing Russ at 6,300. That's just a bit too much right there. Dallas taking on the Phoenix Suns. I've kind of already alluded to it. Kyrie Irving, 8,300. Don't know what the hell they're doing. We knew Luka was going to be out already. The matchup going up against the Phoenix Suns. I'm not scared of Tyus Jones' defense. I'm not scared of whoever. No one, honestly. Not even Royce O'Neal defense is going to scare me off of Kyrie. The usage, the bag, all of that is there. It's the Kyrie show right now with Luka being benched. We've already seen it. Kyrie's had to do it continuously over and over again while Luka's been injured. And part of a big reason why they've been able to win without him out there. I do have upwards of 35 plus fantasy points for him going in what should be a close game. And I do think that Dallas should be able to keep it close. Now, with Luka being off the court, PJ Washington is another player that gets a boost and a bump, especially on the rebounding side without Kyrie being out there. So I don't mind looking at him also for a prop. If you're looking at props, PJ Washington rebounds is definitely something I would consider on today. If Lively is to miss, that's of course going to boost players like Gafford and of course PJ Washington if they were to decide they want to run a small ball lineup. Definitely both of those things are something you can look to. Clay, I don't like Clay at all. Quentin Grimes definitely be someone I would consider along with Spencer Dinwiddie, just because both these guys are going to have to go out there and play the minutes without Luka being out there, and depending on who they actually decide to slide into the starting lineup, either one of those guys will get a boost. On the Phoenix Suns side, straight up for me, Kevin Durant, 9,300. I kind of feel like he'll go overlooked, especially when you have Tatum, Mobley, Joker, Wemby, like all these other studs on the slate. No one's going to look towards Kevin Durant. Should be very much a low-owned play. Definitely another GPP option if you want to get cute, different, something like that. I will say from this team, I would rather look more towards Nurk, who's stays out of foul trouble, can give us 30 fantasy points at least if he plays his normal 30-ish minutes. Stays out of foul trouble. You're kind of going to need him for the size if Dallas is able to play big, because, you know, they do have two phenomenal bigs if Lively is actually in. Nurk can rebound, definitely can dish rock a little bit, get some putback, stuff like that. Don't mind going to him, especially at a 5,800 price tag. But again, you have Zach Edey right there at 5K. That's kind of hard to that'd be a fool to honestly play Nurk over Edey. Tyus Jones, don't mind looking right there, and then Royce O'Neal, either one of those guys. If they start Dunn again, only thing was they pulled him. He had a very short lease, 10.75 fantasy points. Honestly, doesn't feel like he's even worth going to. I will say another weird play, Monty Morris, oddly getting minutes. Very much in the rotation with Devin Booker being out, scoring, dishing, playing some defense. Another one that you would have if you're making multiple lineups, then you need a GPP play right there. Draymond Green, I forgot to mention him, but he is also on the injury report in regards to I want to say his ankle or something like that. So a lot of usage should go around over here for the Warriors, especially with Steph Curry being out. We're gonna get the first look of Dennis Schroeder getting to lead the offense for them. So Dennis fit 300. That's really no brainer. Late night hammer, I'm going to go ahead and play him. Not even going to question it, think about it, or look at it twice. Like, it just makes sense to go ahead and play Dennis right there. Outside of that, Andrew Wiggins, he's going to get a boost. Jonathan Kuminga, of course, is going to get a boost. Buddy Hield is going to get a boost as well. All these guys right here. Pod, been very too streaky and GPP hit or miss. I'm not even going to worry about him. And if Draymond is going to be out, then, of course, Kuminga, he should get his normal run. Tracy Jackson-Davis at the center spot. I just feel like this is a bad matchup going up against Zubac. I'm not even on this slate or looking at it on this side. On the Los Angeles Clippers side, you definitely can look to Harden, 9,400. But again, I got Kyrie. I really don't feel like there's a need for me to go there. Now, I will say over here for the Clippers side, besides Harden, Zubac, both those guys are always phenomenal plays. Chris Dunn in the starting lineup, 3,800, another value piece that we can look to today. I do kind of feel like there is merit to fading Chris Dunn, even though he allows you to fit a lot into the line. And the only reason why I say fading it is because I think that there is a play here you can make in regards to going with Kevin Porter Jr. at a little bit higher price, playing pretty consistently though. And I love the upside for what Kevin Porter can actually do, looking very comfortable out there. And if by any means necessary, the Clippers get a lead on the Warriors, that possibly could be more minutes for KPJ out here to do what he does very well. So I love the upside of getting a low-owned Kevin Porter Jr. Really do feel like he's going to be a sneaky owned piece and definitely can help you fit some of the value and stuff on today's slate. So there's a couple of pieces you can really get from this game right here in itself. Dennis Schroeder, of course, being one of the key cogs into that. Since it's so late in the day, I already have pretty much my fundamental core that I am focused on building around. Now, I'm not going to put one of my last pieces in because that's going to be the decision for you guys to make, and that's going to be whether or not if you're going to play 1B or if you're going to play the Joker. But I will tell you, I have one of those two guys inside of my line. If you watch the video, you already know exactly who it is really for me. So really, this is going to be the focus of how I'm going to start building out my lines and everything. It will at least have these three players in there unless some drastic shift in news happens between now and this evening. This is where I'm going to be starting at for most of my builds. I just feel like Dennis, without Steph Curry being out there, Pod has shown me that he's been very inconsistent. He's going to play at least about 30 minutes. He will be a key reason why they can actually stay in this game. Not a bad spot for him. Kyrie, no Luka. That's really hard for me to pass up right there with the usage and everything that he's going to have to bring out there at 8,300 versus some of the other guards that are right there priced around him. No brainer again for me. And then Zach Edey, just the matchup is way too good. The fantasy point per minutes that he actually produces when he's out there on the court, it just looks massively it's a discount at 5K. Very hard to pass up. So with that being said, good luck to everybody. Hopefully you guys do cash out. I will drop this core as well down in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. Again, as always, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you guys have not done so already. So guys, don't miss any of the content I do drop over here on the channel. Good luck to everybody. Peace.